A flyer is circulating on Facebook about Stephen Fawcett. I do not know Mr. Fawcett personally, but I know this. He is someone's child, someone's brother, someone's cousin, and someone's father. He is a human being, and his story matters. The only reason I am speaking up now is because God told me to and to share my truth, my truth. So for years, others tried to tell my story, but they twisted it, mocking me, belittling me, and distorting the truth. But just like Stephen Fawcett, I too have a story that must be told. So, what happened to him, as far as no accountability, also happened to me. And by the grace of God, thank you, Lord God, I survived. I believe there were people who wanted me dead. They acted that way. And in a way, they succeeded. So, since 2007, my ability to build a career or to provide an upward mobility in my life in Macon, Georgia, has been destroyed. Despite going back to school and maintaining my skills, I have not been able to find stable work, not even at a fast food restaurant. My life was stolen because of something that had nothing to do with me. Nothing. I am a living witness to how Macon-Bibb lies, covers up wrongdoing, and refuses to accept accountability. I don't know what led to the sheriff's department to tase Mr. Stephen Fawcett, but I know this. They desperately need proper training in de escalation, especially when dealing with people who are vulnerable, afraid, or disoriented inside a jail. So I applaud Miss Platt for standing firm and not allowing the sheriff's department to escape accountability. I only wish my mother had not been so afraid of authority, so submissive that she didn't question anything. She didn't question what made no sense. We cannot allow those who are sworn to protect and serve to abuse that power without consequence. And when something doesn't sound right, investigate. Ask questions concerning your family member, especially if the accusations are out of character for your child. Find out why they're in jail and how they got there. My own ordeal began years ago when I was arrested and taken to Macon-Bibb LEC. I was completely lost, had never been in jail. I was frightened and confused as to why I was there because I knew my rights. And I was wondering why my rights were not being, why my rights were being violated. And for 2 years, I sat in that facility without any explanation, without a bond hearing, and without a single court date. And then one day, um, this is an example. of how petty they were. One day, they passed out snacks to inmates but skipped my cell on purpose. And when I pressed the intercom and knocked on the door just to ask why and what was going on, a guard up, a guard came upstairs where I was and sprayed me with mace for nothing more than asking about a snack. I was alone in my cell and I posed no threat to anyone else. Later on in the infirmary, things became even worse. They ordered me to strip and shower in order to rinse the mace out of my eyes. And a female officer tried to shower with me. On the job, trying to shower with me. And when I voiced my concerns, she left, but she deliberately left the door wide open so that the male inmates, not one, there were more than one, inmates could watch me naked while I was in the shower. And I had to plead with them to shut it. And they later placed me in a cell with a male transvestite. They even put hair in my food, and I refused to eat and ended up going 40 days and 40 nights without eating. And while in the infirmary, 5 burly sheriffs tried to force me to take some kind of medication, and they did not disclose what it was. And I refused. And they refused to tell me what it was. So when I resisted, a muscle bound sheriff lifted me up above his head and slammed me onto the hard concrete floor, naked and terrified. And then I felt a nurse inject me in the buttocks. They forced another drug into me that made me overwhelmingly drowsy. I don't know what that was. And when I tried to refuse again, the sheriff beat me and I had to hide my head under the toilet just to avoid being struck in the skull. And this is a true story. And they were never held accountable. Never. They didn't offer any apologies. They didn't offer any checks for anything. Later, I was told to go outside. No, later they let us out to go outside in the blistering heat. And the last thing I remember is standing among a group of women and then waking up on the ground, surrounded by them like vultures over roadkill. And then I noticed that my knee was dislocated, sending searing pain through my leg. They had jumped me, and I was dragged back to the infirmary. And later, as I walked back to my cell, I fell 15 feet from the balcony onto the hard, cold concrete floor, just inches from the metal table that was beneath us. And a female officer ran in, grabbed my head, and slammed it against the floor and dragged me back to the infirmary. Then on December 18th, a sheriff called my name and simply said, "You can go," just like that. "You can go." What? Really? I can go. Just like that. Now, I am not someone who was used to jail, and I know without question that my civil rights were violated. But I had no one, no protector, no lawyer, no advocate, not even the people I once considered friends. No one stood up for me. And I'm not really that surprised about that. No, I thought at least one. These are not isolated stories. This is a pattern. Macon-Bibb has silenced victims, destroyed lives, and covered up the truth for too long. I applaud Miss Platt for demanding accountability for her son. I only wish my own mother had not been too afraid to ask questions of of people with authority. Obtain a lawyer, or at least a consult. No, you use your brain. Families must ask questions. When something doesn't add up, don't accept silence. Stand up, push back. Even if justice feels out of reach, our loved ones will know we tried. They will know we did not give up on them.